Hi guys, welcome back. We've got another beginner's workout this week, and today we are focusing all on core strength. So we're going to work the abs, the back, the obliques, a little bit of shoulders, a little bit of glutes. It's all here in this workout, and all you will need is your mat. So go ahead, roll it out, and let's get started. So today is our beginner core strengthening routine. So this is a perfect workout for basically everybody. If you have back pain, if you have postural issues, if you're sitting at a desk a lot during the day, there's never a wrong reason to work on your core strength. So we're going to target all of this, and it's going to be fairly mild-ish anyway. Good one though, just to kind of get started. So start with hands and knees here. We're gonna tuck toes under. I want you to think of expanding across the upper back and shoulders, really pulling the navel in, because what we're going to do is lift the knees a little bit off the floor. Now when you lift the knees off the floor, I don't want you to do a big lift of the butt. I'll show you what I mean. So it's not like a woo up like that. That was really exaggerated, but it's not like that. It's more of a tuck in. So you actually want to think about keeping the butt down. Little tuck that's going to draw the knees up, and it's only about 1 centimeter that they come off of the mat. So we're going to go for 10 of those. Inhale, on the exhale, little lift, hover, touch down. Lift, hover, touch down. Squeezing the lower abs really tight. Again, softening through the shoulders. It shouldn't be a big shoulder exercise. A few more here. We'll do 4, 3, 2, and then stay up on 1. You're going to straighten the legs, push back to sort of a close downward dog, pushing heels down, flattening across upper back and shoulders, and then we're just going to come back to that little hover position. So hover, reset the shoulders, press back. Keep going between those two. So a little hover, make sure neck comes along with the spine there. So obviously we're looking back toward the legs in the downward dog. You need to adjust so that your gaze goes forward again. Always pulling from behind the navel. Oh, we've got our first feline visitor. Here's Luna. Luna never used to come out during filming. Well, not never, but not as much as the other two. And lately, the last few videos, Luna has been the star. One last one here. Back to downward dog. And then we'll just rest the knees down for a second. So knees can come down, push back to a child's pose. You can give the wrists a little bit of a shake out there. Let them release. And then we are going to be coming back to hands and knees. Now, they're not crazy long sets on the hands and knees, but if the wrists are really, really sensitive, then you can just go to the forearms and you'll just do the leg lift portion of it without the arm. So it still works the core because obviously you're focused on pulling up and in. I'm gonna show you the full thing though from hands. So we're gonna extend left leg long. Oh my goodness, here's the second one. Here's Leo. Right arm long. Pull up from the navel, as I said, inhale on the exhale. You're just gonna lift, find a nice long line there. Inhale, touch down. We've got 10 of these. So exhale, lift, find that line. Inhale, touch. Really, really going for the core stability. Don't worry about doing a high lift. So you'll notice I'm only really lifting about in line with the torso. That's what we want. You're thinking more of the length of the reach, less of the height of the lift, because when you do a really big lift there, it tends to be momentum based, which means it's not very controlled. It tends to go into the lower back, so we get that big hollow there, which is not what we want. And yeah, it's not what we want. Hold this last one here. Now we're gonna be doing a big round up. Tuck knee to nose, so curl in. Really, really curl up here. Don't be afraid to go big. Extend long again. Do that again, 10 of these total. So you're going to curl in and reach. Exhale as you curl. Oh, there go the cats. And inhale, reach. Again, just going in line with the torso. You don't have to do a big lift up and over that line. Really, really big crunch of the lower abs as you tuck in here. Cats. Yeah, if you can hear Leo chattering in the background. He is a very chatty cat. One more here, and we'll hold this reach, and we're just gonna do 10 pulses for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. From there, go ahead, come all the way down to your mat. We'll lie flat here. We're gonna reach arms out long, so about shoulder distance apart, but whatever feels comfortable. Same thing with the legs. Around mat distance apart, but wherever they kind of naturally go to, everything's gonna lift. So important here, the head. Don't throw the head back like that, because then you're just lifting with the head. It's gonna be a lot of tension in the neck, not what we want. So gaze is gonna stay pretty much at the floor, just a little bit ahead of you, so that back of the neck stays in line with the spine. Inhale, on the exhale, we lift everything. So legs and arms, it's a lift, squeezing the glutes, release. So bear in mind, you do not have kneecaps on this one. Don't bend the knees to make it look like the legs are lifting higher. They're not actually lifting any higher. So really keep the legs super, super straight and focus on squeezing the glutes. So it is a lower back exercise, which is part of the core. So it keeps it all together. Here's 3, 2, we're gonna hold on to the last one and we're gonna swim it. So you're fluttering arms and legs for 20. 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Hands underneath shoulders. Take another quick child's pose there. Again, you can give the wrists a little shake out. Release the shoulders. And we'll come back to hands and knees, obviously, and do the other side. So, right leg, left arm, pulling navel up and in. We want to keep a flat back there. So one kind of idea that I like to think about is imagine you have a tray of drinks on your back that you do not want to spill. So if you're like rocking around all over the place, obviously we're gonna drop it. You want to stay super, super still, super flat through the back. So left arm, right leg, inhale. On the exhale, we lift, inhale, release. And really think about that as the leg and arm come down. Don't let the torso go down with them. The hips always stay on the same level, no matter what's happening around them. So if you feel really, really wiggly all over the place, that tells you that the abs are not pulling up tight enough. Probably the hips are not square. So, I mean, it takes practice. But you can always keep the arm and leg a little bit lower, so you could do like kind of a modified one, just there. That's why I said, do not worry about a high lift. The height of the lift is the least important thing here. Last one, you're gonna stay up and we're gonna curl in. So thinking knee to nose, I know the elbow's going in as well, but we're actually thinking knee to nose to go really big with it. Exhales, you tuck. Inhales, you reach. And this one's great because it's working all of the core. We've got pretty much the whole plane of abs. We've got the lower back for sure. It's a bit of the obliques. Shoulders are supporting. We're getting a little bit into the glutes. I mean, it's a good one. And one more here. Remember, we hold that reach and we pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release, and again, we're gonna lower all the way down. So exactly the same as before, we'll do 10 lifts and 20 swimmers. So arms long, legs long. Again, lock the knees here. You do not want to be doing a lift with the knees bent because it is a cheat, and you'll feel that it's a cheat because you won't feel as much as you should. So neck long, inhale. On the exhale, lift, inhale, release. Keep going, lift and release. Shoulders soft, think of pulling them back away from the ears. Here's 4. And one more, we stay up on this next one, and we're fluttering. So that flutter is coming from the line of the hips, again, not from the knees. 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Hands again on our shoulders. Press back to that same child's pose. Let everything just release. And then we're going to flip around and come on to the back. So, reverse, reverse. Back comes down. Knees are going to be in a tabletop position. And then this is really, really important. Navel pulls down, obviously. Lower back should stay in contact with the floor. So I'm going to show you, here would be like with an arch in my back. I'm lifting away, I've got this gap here. That's not what we want. Tuck under, close that gap. You've got like a little plate underneath your back. You should be breaking that plate. That's how hard you're pressing down. And then we're going to take right hand, push it into the left leg. So I'm pushing with my hand, and like I'm not just touching, it's not just a pat. I'm pushing on it, and then I'm pushing back equally with the leg. So it's meeting in the middle. Just doing that alone, you should feel everything engage. It should be difficult to maintain just that. So I could just hang out here like this, whoo, and get fairly worn out just doing that, keeping the tuck, of course. So that's just a little self-check to make sure that you are pushing tight enough here. Because if you're touching, you're not going to feel anything, right? I can touch it here and nothing's happening. So big, big push back with the leg, forward with the hand. You're going to reach left arm up and we're going to extend. So it's a single side dead bug. We reach, bring it back up. So exhale, reach, inhale, back in, resisting both directions. Keep pressing. Right hand to left leg pushing back. The more intensely you're pressing there, the more work you're going to do, and more is better in this case. 4 more. Here's 3. And just keep checking in, because sometimes I'm like, oh, you know what, I could actually push back more with my leg and get a little bit more. Last one here, and release. Give it a little shake out. So you should definitely feel that, but it's a nice controlled one. We're just gonna do the same thing on the other side. So left hand crosses the body, push with the hand, push back with the leg, whoo, locked in. Right arm reaches up, we exhale, extend, inhale, bring it back in. Exhale, extend. You should feel a little shake there. So again, if you're not feeling that little shake, you need to press harder, because I guarantee if you're pressing hard enough from both directions, you will feel that shake without doing much of anything. This is just a distraction. So as dead bug, this part is a distraction. Here's 3, 2, and 1. Good. Release. There we go. Again, just give it a little wiggle out. And then we give you an option for this next one. So if you are like a really like beginner, hands are gonna go underneath the tailbone here, and you wanna actually kind of prop it up a little bit. So it's not beneath the lower back. Sometimes I'll see people go here. That's exactly the opposite of what you want, right? Because we wanna be pressing the lower back down. So you would go down, so the fingertips are just poking out from under your butt here. So you're creating a hole for the lower back to drop into, okay? That's the difference. So you can go there, that's just a little bit more supported, or you can do hands by side. You can do hands underneath the nape of the neck. I like this one because it forces the shoulders to open and relax, but any of those works. Knees are still in tabletop. We're just gonna do a bent leg drop here. So you're gonna inhale, and as you inhale, we lower down. Exhale, slowly lift back up. So that's one. I'm gonna show you all the little pointers here again, just because it's a beginner video. So if you're not familiar with how you should be doing these, or it's just good to, you know, check in, get all the form reminders, here's what you need to know. First of all, the biggest cheats I see, knees bending. So it's just like a Now, that's not my abs working at all. The movement needs to be from the hips. So that right angle that we have in the knees, that's gonna stay. I'm not ever changing that. That stays as it is. The push is from the hips. You don't have to go all the way to the floor. So if you're going all the way down, but this is happening, the back is lifting, you're going too far in this moment. So only go as low as you can while keeping it out of the back, and then reverse. The other big cheat I see in these is the rebound back up. I talk about this a lot. So the rebound back up is gonna look like, okay, going down, going down, going down, all good, and then suddenly, bam, swinging it back up. So if you're just swinging it back up, hey, guess what? Your abs aren't doing any of that work. So it's a total cheat. You're not actually developing anything. You're not strengthening anything. And it can put a little bit of a strain on the lower back to have to rebound back up. So watch out for those two things. We're gonna control the speed the whole way through. So 10 of these, you're gonna inhale, lower as low as you can go without the back lifting up. Exhale, same speed, we return up. So nice and slow. Inhale down, you never wanna rush ab work. Unless it's like cardio abs. So, I mean, I'm thinking like a starfish crunch, a sprinter's roll up, things like that. Fine. Cardio can be fast. That's the purpose of cardio. You can go fast with it. But if it's not cardio, any kind of strength training, most of the time you can slow down. With most people, what I see is that there's a tendency to rush through it. I don't know if it's because you want to get it done, but if you're just doing that, you're really cheating the experience. And what's the point of even doing it at all at that point? So really slow it down. Get the most out of it. One more here. Inhale down. Exhale back up. And now I want you to imagine that tray of drinks is on your shins. And we're just gonna stir it. So you're just gonna stir it clockwise, keeping hips down. Little tiny circles there. So we're gonna do 10 clockwise, and then we're gonna do 10 counterclockwise. Keep the back pressing down to the floor. A few more here. And let's reverse it. So counterclockwise, little stirs. Keep squeezing the navel down tight. Few more. And last one. Hug the knees in. And then we're gonna drop the feet to the floor. Extend the legs long. There we go. And we're gonna go for a half roll up. So good little kind of drill if the full roll up feels very daunting for you. We're gonna do a half roll up, and then we're gonna do half from the opposite direction. So for now we're going halfway up. Second time we're gonna go halfway down. So it's a good way to really develop your roll ups. So feet are pressing down here, heels down. Legs are really grounded. Navel in, inhale, reach arms overhead. On the exhale, you're gonna roll. You're not gonna come all the way. You're gonna come to your halfway point, push the chest forward, and release back down. So there should be a little pause there. As you reach overhead, again, make sure this gap, it doesn't exist. You're closing it up. So inhale. On the exhale, halfway, go just past your tipping point. Lift the chest, roll shoulders back, release back down. We're doing 10 of these total. You should feel a little shake on it. And again, this is like, well, it's not everything, but it is abs. It's the whole plane of abs. It is also the back. So we don't ever want to forget about the back. I think often we get confused and think, core, abs, 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 abs. And yes, the abs are part of it, and maybe they're people's favorite part to work. I don't know. But the back is the other half of that equation. And you really cannot have strong or sculpted abs without a strong back to support it. So really important that you're working both sides of it. Couple more here. And one last one. And then up to you. You can either do a roll up all the way up, or you can rock up to seated, because like I said, we're going to reverse. So you're just gonna go halfway back now. Legs out long, roll shoulders back, keep chest lifted, navel pulls in tight, and you're just gonna start to curl from the base of the spine. Go back to your tipping point, Woo! Back up. Again, lucky number here is 10. So inhale, roll, 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 pull navel in tight. Exhale, bring it back up. Should feel a little shake. You might even see a little shake. If you're looking down at your navel, you might be able to see that little bit of a shake, which I think is sort of satisfying. It's like instant gratification. Few more here. I guess the cats only made that brief appearance. No more cat activity. Last one here. And if you want, you can just take a quick forward fold. Again, just release it, shake out the legs. You can shake out the shoulders a little bit. And then we're gonna come down onto one side. So obviously, if we're doing a core workout, we cannot leave the obliques out of it. So for that, we're gonna do, I think, my favorite for working the obliques, which is a side plank. So I know side planks, people hear it and they're like, no, I can never side plank. Yes, you can and you should. So elbow's gonna be underneath the shoulder here. Forearm is just gonna be parallel to the edge of your mat. So make sure you're not like out here. I mean, I haven't ever seen anybody turn inward. Usually it tends to be more like this, but just keep it in line there. If someone were to look down on you from above, you should be a right triangle here, okay? So this would be a right angle, right? Because we're just gonna go along the edge of the mat. Same with the knees. So we'll keep the knees down. It's a modified side plank, don't worry. And then this is going to be your long end, okay? So hips stay stacked, make sure you're not rolling back like that. You're probably not gonna roll forward, but just in case. Same with the shoulders, pull the shoulders apart. Make sure that top shoulder is not coming forward, and that's what it tends to do. So staying on the knees here, we're gonna do 10 lifts into side plank. So inhale, on your exhale, you lift, pause for a second, inhale, release, that's it. Really pulling from the line of the navel. Quick tap down, and lift. 10 of these again, that's halfway. Again, just thinking about that top shoulder. Sometimes I like to bring the fingertips just to that shoulder as a little note to self. I find I'm more likely to keep it where it needs to be if I just bring a hand there. Here's 2. You're gonna stay up on this last one. Bring that top hand behind the nape of the neck. You're gonna keep the knees as they are. We're gonna do a little twist. Hips stay lifted, so you're gonna touch elbow to the floor just next to the palm. Exhale, lift it back up. So inhale, twist, keep hips lifted. Exhale, bring it back up. And obviously, if you are a little bit more advanced here and you're more used to doing side planks, you can absolutely do this from the feet. So yeah, if you've maybe done this video a few times and you're like feeling good, you want to have a little bit more of a play around, pop it up to the feet. You gotta advance at some point, so we always want to kind of keep this forward progression. And one more here, and then we're just gonna hold this side plank for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. There we go. Go ahead and flip around to the other side. Same thing. So checking the alignment here, knees are stacked, hips are stacked, form in line with the edge of your mat. We've got palm, knees at about the same level, forming that right angle there. And whatever you want to do with the top hand, keeping shoulders open. Inhale and exhale. We lift, inhale, release. Exhale, lift, really pressing up out of that bottom shoulder. So again, you don't want to think about the weight being in the bottom shoulder because we're imagining this kind of sensation of a string tied around the waist, just pulling up from there. So energetically, right, this is the center. That's where we're working from. So that's a really big pull up that pulls us out of that shoulder. It's not a push from the shoulder though. Here's 2. Stay up on this next one. fingertips behind the nape of the neck, and we twist. So elbow to floor, exhale, lift. Elbow to floor, exhale, lift. Nice little crunch in the abs and the obliques. A few more here. And here's 3, 2, last one. Remember, we're gonna hold this plank for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Okay, final thing here. We're just gonna do a classic forearm plank, and we're gonna hold it. So I will give you 2 options here. You can go from the toes, and I encourage everybody to start from the toes anyway. If it turns out that maybe after 10 seconds you're just done, the back is collapsing, no more, then lower to the knees and modify it the rest of the time. But always good idea, I think, to push yourself a little bit, because that's how we get stronger. So the option from the knees, though, just so you're aware of it, is gonna be here. This is not it. This is not a plank. The abs are not really doing too much there. So knees are not under the hips here. Back should be flat. So we got that tray of drinks back on the back here, pulling navel in nice and tight, shoulders are soft. So either there or on the toes, but we're starting in 3, 2, 1. So I'm gonna go from the toes here, squeezing navel super, super tight, squeeze the butt as well. And for core strength, I really do recommend planking every single morning. Good interval to do is just a minute. So if you need to split that into 2 30-second groups, my aim right now is that we're gonna hold for about 30 seconds. I don't have a timer, so I'm just using my own kind of estimate. That's what we're gonna go with. Let's keep holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees down if they weren't already, and press back to a child's pose. But yeah, about a minute of planking every morning. You can switch up the type of plank you do. So you could do just a classic forearm plank. You could do a classic plank on the palms. You could do side planks. You could do reverse planks or reverse tabletop. All of those different things. They all work different areas, but it's all core. And it's just a very good practice. And it's actually one of the things that makes the biggest difference. If you're more motivated by like ab definition, it makes a big difference for that, let me just say. So come back to hands and knees here, don't worry, we're stretching. So we're gonna inhale, hollow, classic cat-cow. Exhale around, tuck in, chin to chest, pushing out the shoulders. Again, inhale, hollow. Exhale around, one more time. Inhale, hollow. Exhale, round. Good. You can go ahead, just sit back on the heels here, and then touch right hand down the side. Inhale, left arm comes up and over. Nice big side body stretch. Really thinking of lengthening through the left side body. So you don't want to just like go down and collapse into it. Think of lengthening. So like someone's kind of pulling on that hand up and over. And go ahead and switch sides. So left hand comes down, right arm reaches up and over. We want to get that expansion. Pressing the top shoulder back, so you don't want to collapse forward. Open it up. Go ahead, come back up there. Fingertips behind, lift the chest, so nice little chest expansion. Good, and then final thing, we'll take a twist here. So we'll just do a really mild seated twist. You're gonna take the left hand to the outside of the right leg, press against that, find the twist from the navel. So I often see people just go from the chest here because that's where we have more flexibility. So they'll just do like a big old wee around like that. I'm only feeling this in my chest and shoulders right now, okay? So it looks like I'm twisting pretty far, but I'm not getting what I want. Think of keeping the twist purely from the navel. So don't let the chest and shoulders stray at all. Only go as far as the navel permits, which is maybe not very far. Definitely not going to be as far as if we added in the chest, but that's okay. And go ahead and switch sides. So again, keeping it really nice and low. We're looking to build that flexibility in the lower back, because that tends to be a tighter region. There tends to be less range of motion there, especially if you're sitting in a chair at a desk all day. That's probably going to be fairly stiff. And go ahead, release. Give the shoulders some nice rolls out, one of those. And that's us done. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this beginner core strengthening routine. It's not a super intense ab burn, right? So if you want one of those, check out one of my other ab videos, but those are kind of assuming that there is a little bit of a basis there. So I do recommend starting with this, building the foundation before you go into some of those more kind of difficult, more advanced ab exercises. Otherwise, might not be doing them correctly and really getting the most out of them. So I hope this one was of value to you. If you did enjoy it, of course, hit that like button down below. While you're down there, hit subscribe so you can come back for other beginner workouts as well as more advanced ones in the future. And of course, let me know what you thought of this workout down below in the comments. I will see you guys back here next week. Bye.